Mic'd up.
Boys and girls, children of all ages.
You know, I really got to come up with a better song. We need a better entry to this show. Especially we're going to do it every night.
I'm using several different ones. So this was just the one that was up today because I was in.
Thank God. How about I gotta be me?
Your volume just disappeared. You just went bye-bye. Can't hear a word you're saying, Adam. It's one of the best shows ever. Anyhow, I'll do the open since Adam is frozen.
I don't know what's going on, why I'm losing you.
Well, you're frozen.
I'm back.
There you go.
I guess someone tried to call me.
All right. So, Yankees win. The Yankees win.
The Yankees win.
So we'll talk a little bit about today's game. Obviously the story is Schlittler. I mean, it's beyond unbelievable what he's doing right now.
Wow, really, just so amazing to watch. Just owns it. I mean, everything about it. A little troubling at the end. Wasn't happy with neither of them. Seemed to have neither Schlittler, neither Bednar or Duvall had it tonight.
Yeah.
Or today.
Well, Bednar had to throw 40 pitches. He seemed to not be able to put a couple of guys away, which caused his pitch count to go up, and then obviously allowed some hits. But talking about Schlittler, right?
Yeah.
So today he threw 79 pitches after throwing 68 the first game. He had 6 up downs, as they call them, in game 1. And then he had 7 up downs today because he pitched 6 in the third. Over his 11 2/3 innings, he's allowed 3 hits and walked nobody. I mean, it's out of control how good he's been. He's not walking anybody. So, people were asking why'd they take him out? Well, it was 4-0 at the time they took him out, and the bullpen's pretty well rested, right? Except for Hedrick, who's pitched, several times. And Cruz now back-to-back. Duvall hadn't pitched in a couple of days, and Bednar hadn't pitched since San Francisco. So, they definitely wanted to get some work in for these guys. And why stretch him out if you don't have to? Any more than that, he's coming off the bad back. He's a little behind the other starting pitchers. Not everybody can go out there like Sandy Alcantara or Alcantara, as Cone was calling him today, and pitch a complete game shutout on the second start of the season. But, pretty incredible what the guy has done.
Yeah, and it's just the command is so amazing. I mean, it's just complete control.
Unbelievable.
Of these games. I don't remember a guy who had such a great combination of heat and really just hold and command of the zone.
Well, first game he had 49 strikes and 19 balls. Today he had 58 strikes and 21 balls. It reminds me of Verlander in his prime. Really, Verlander was able to do that, and Verlander threw mostly fastballs. As they said during the game, he was throwing his 3 different fastballs. He has one that's 4-seamer, one that cuts, and one that dives, which they sometimes call sinker or 2-seam. And he threw overwhelmingly through the first 4 innings. He threw 3 curveballs, and that's it. So he's out of control, and he's like, here it is, hit it. Good luck, guys. It's 97-98, which is exactly what you want. And it's easy looking. He really didn't look like he was stressing at all. So it was just amazing. Just to watch that. And then, the other thing obviously is Ben Rice is just a house of fire. Hit a homer today, knocked in another run. And
they missed. Remember, he took his head, basically took the pitcher's head off at one point, and almost should have gotten a hit on that, but diverted it right to second baseman. But that was
the guy happened yesterday to Judge.
His exit velocity is just out of control. I mean, he's hitting the ball hard. This is it. This is where he's special.
Yeah, as long as he hits it to places that they can't catch it, go for it. They don't have a replacement for him at first base because Goldschmidt's clearly not the guy. And speaking of Goldschmidt, cracked me up during the game when they were talking about Goldschmidt. I don't know if you heard this. They're talking about how Goldschmidt had many offers and decided to come back to the Yankees on the cheap because he wanted to run it back because he liked what happened. Total crap. Because if the Cardinals or the Diamondbacks or one places that he wanted to play would have offered him a real contract and be an everyday first baseman, he would have taken it in a second. I'm glad he's back. I'm glad he's back at $5 million. That's a nice cheap contract for him. It's less than they paid him last year, which is good. And he's going to play less than last year. But, he saved 2 errors at least for Caballero today, Goldschmidt at first base. And one of them, he made it look like it was just, nonchalant scoop. And it was like, man, that was a hard scoop. And he made it look like it was nothing. So, Goldschmidt, did his job. And then, of course, we do have to talk about the conversation. I don't know if you heard the Kay Cone conversation, if you were still with Ma Yankee on the radio. But in the 4th inning, Kay and Cone started talking about how before the 3rd game in San Francisco, Stanton, Judge, and Goldschmidt sat the team down and said, we need to sweep. We cannot get complacent. We cannot let down. Last year, we might not have really pushed for this 3rd game in the series in a sweep. And at the end of the day, as you can tell, we tied for first place. And we didn't get the tiebreaker because we didn't bear down on the games like the 3rd game in San Francisco, which is great. They didn't want to let the game get away in San Francisco, and that they acknowledged that may have cost them during the season last year.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. And Cone added to the conversation by saying that was the attitude of the team in 96, in 98, whatever year he was talking about. He said that was our attitude. Just beat the heck out of everybody every day. Never let yesterday or tomorrow impact what's happening today. It's great. So the Yankees are espousing all of that, and then comes out the lineup, and Stanton is sitting.
You gotta love them, man.
And they say it was predetermined that when the series started, it was predetermined between Boone and Stanton that he was going to sit this game so that he would get 2 days off. He'd get today off, even though he was available to pinch hit, and he would get tomorrow off because the whole team has tomorrow off. I'm sorry, but you don't do that. You don't predetermine a lineup 2 days in advance. Yes, you may want to rest the catcher, day game after a night game or night game before a day game, like they did with Wells. I'm fine with that. I just don't understand how they can predetermine the lineup and sit the guy who is one of your 3 hot hitters in the lineup with Bellinger and Rice. It makes no sense. You sit the hottest hitter, and it's typical Yankees BS. And I don't understand it. They got away with it. But if they wanted to sit somebody and they wanted to get Goldschmidt in the lineup, fine. Great. Sit Judge. The guy is ice cold. Right? Play Rosario in right field. Oh, yeah, they don't want to play McMahon. Already, it's the 6th game of the season, and McMahon is sitting against a right-handed pitcher. Is that a portend of things to come for the season? I mean, the reason he's the starting 3rd baseman is not only his defense, but he's supposed to be at the very best a platoon player offensively, and Rosario is supposed to play against lefties. And here it is, Game 6, and McMahon's sitting.
Yeah, there's any number of guys that could have sit today that would have been better. Still Chisholm again getting picked off because he's stupid.
We'll talk about that. I want to talk about that as a whole separate issue because the base running for the Yankees, there's some interesting things happening there. But to me, if they wanted to make sure, they could have sat Wells again. He's not hitting worth a lick, right? Sit Wells, let Rice catch. He's got a day off tomorrow. He's only been playing first base.
Yeah.
Let Goldschmidt play first base if you want to get Goldschmidt in the lineup and you want to have some defense over there. I have no idea. There was so many other options out there than hitting Stanton, than sitting Stanton. It was just ridiculous. Now, Goldschmidt and Rosario are supposed to be generally very bad against righties. Rosario had a base hit, and Goldschmidt, of course, hit the home run. So the Yankees got away with it, and it's good. But you can't tell me that they say things like they said before Saturday's game in San Francisco where they want to get out there and make sure they don't get complacent. They want to win and win and win and not let a game go by where they're just showing up and throwing the bats and the balls on the field. Sitting Stanton today was the exact opposite of that, and they got away with it. So it just pisses me off.
I mean, it's just over managing. It's over. It's again, and another thing that they tend to do is they seem to think of these games, these ones where they're getting away, when they got to get in a plane and go home, or get away and go on a road trip. They always seem to make this game
They
for
have so many
whatever
days,
reason.
they have so many freaking days off already.
You know,
In
it
fact,
just
this is
seems to
their
me that's ridiculous.
tomorrow is their third day off after 6 games.
Yeah. It just seems to me that that they always do this, and they're talking about it during the game that Judge was they were having an argument, not an argument, but the team was getting on each other as they should about letting down.
Right.
Letting after a good win, they tend to let. Last season they did it a lot.
That's the
They would,
conversation that I was referring to.
exactly, and I think that happens here. And I think that they need to go for the kill. And I'm glad. But I mean, again, they had a great pitching performance. They didn't
Out of
hit
control.
the snot out of the ball. They didn't do that. I'm sorry. They had 5 hits. I mean,
Six,
it's
six.
not, you know, 6 hits. Sorry. It's just not enough. Again, the continued, you know, reduction of the empire, the home plate umpire to pile of pus.
Well,
You
listen,
know,
the guy today,
how,
the two pitches that the guy missed were one was Lace's touched home plate where he called it a ball, and one was 3/10 of an inch away from being a strike. So this guy, the pitches that he missed were no big deal.
So we had what we had. I saw. So I'm looking here now. It said that they had Raleigh had 3 overturned, or was it confirmed or overturned? I guess so. Confirmed means
Raleigh missed two.
so Raleigh missed 2, and then you have. I wish I had a better way of doing this in the box score.
I could show. I could
Kirby had one that was overturned. Wells had one that was
Yeah,
overturned.
Kirby had a pitch that was called a ball, called a strike. That caught the corner of the zone. There was a pitch that Wells, as a hitter, asked for it to be reviewed, and it caught the strike zone by a lace. And then there was one that, in the same at bat, Raleigh got strike 3 against Wells on a pitch that broke across the plate that Wells looked like he was ready to walk away from home plate. And the umpire called it a ball, and Raleigh said no, and it was strike 3. But this umpire, the pitches this guy missed today were very close. It wasn't like yesterday, the day before when Easterbrook missed, pitches that were 3 inches off the plate, which is a lot for baseball. It is what it is. But this guy wasn't bad today. I didn't think he was bad. I thought the guy yesterday, he missed one badly, and I think it was against Judge or Chisholm, and it looked like he said, "Yeah, I guess I missed that one." Whereas what C.B. Buckner did against Suarez was ridiculous, and what Easterbrook kept missing pitch after pitch, and they weren't even close. As far as the umpires go, I'm at the same point I was at before the season. It's just ridiculous at this point. Every pitch should be on ABS, and I don't really want to keep talking about it because it's just the same scrapple all over again. But this guy today wasn't bad. I want to talk about Judge and base running. All right. So in the middle of the game, you wanted to know if Judge was going to get a hit again, and I wrote back and I said Yanks are going to go 162-0. He's going to have 389 strikeouts and 1 walk. The reality of the situation is if you look at all of the WBC players, the hitters, Judge, Wells, Jazz, Raleigh, J-Rod or Rodriguez, Ohtani, Betts, Harper. You could look at all these guys. None of them are hitting. None of them are hitting. And what it comes down to is I think it's something Ron Darling, again, I'm quoting Darling yesterday a lot because he was really good. He said, yes, those were more intense at bats during the World Baseball Classic. Or maybe it was Frank Core, who I don't really like, but he said it. They're more intense at bats and more reality-based type of at bats. But during spring training, you're getting 40 to 50 at bats, and these guys are not. They're only getting, in that little window of 2 weeks, they're only getting 12 to 13 at bats instead of getting 25 to 30 or even 40 at bats. And that's one of the reasons that these guys are off to a slow start. Now, J-Rod is a notorious slow starter, so we could take him out of the equation. But Ohtani's not hitting. Betts isn't hitting. Wells isn't hitting. Jazz isn't hitting. Judge isn't hitting. Raleigh is really not hitting as well. So it's a whole bunch of guys that are struggling out of the WBC. So Judge is not alone. But if I have to listen to Michael Kay say, "Oh, he just missed that one more time," give me a break. It's just, is he going to hit? Yes. I'm sure he's going to hit. It's just a matter of time. But I don't want to keep hearing, oh, we just missed this one. He's missing pitches that are eminently hittable, and he's not looking good. And he's not walking at all.
Yeah. What's going on with this? I mean, why? Why do you think? Do you think is it a head thing? I mean, is there an explanation for why these guys aren't so many people like the pitcher? First of all, pitching seems to be a mile ahead this year, and I'm wondering if the pitching is a mile ahead because it has to be. First, you got the guys that are going. Think about this. Stick with me on this for a second. Pitching seems to be way ahead. Is it possible because so many guys are, leave to go to the show, to go to WBC? So they have to be prepared earlier than usual. And then a lot of the other guys are more the focal point of the team because they're there and the other guys are gone. Do they feel they need to step up? It just seems that the pitching quality is really a bit higher than usual. I'm saying the delta between the hitting and the pitching right now seems to be a little bit, more focused on the arms. It seems to be more in favor of the arms now than it usually is at the beginning of the season. It feels more like spring training to me, where the hitters are way behind the pitchers. And I've never seen them seem so slow. Major guys aren't hitting. Like major guys aren't hitting.
Well, I just rattled off a whole bunch of guys, and I just looked up Gunnar Henderson because I noticed that Baltimore had 8 runs today. Gunnar Henderson is hitting 160.
It's amazing, really is.
So it's another guy.
What do you think it is?
I think it's what Frank Core said yesterday, that the guys, yes, they got more intense at bats, and yes, they came back to spring training, started taking at bats and sim games on backfields, but it's not the same as even a spring training game. We say spring training is not the same as regular season, and I think that the WBC was more like regular season, if not playoff, in a lot of situations. But
Yeah.
they didn't get enough. They didn't get enough at bats, and the bottom line is they didn't get enough at bats. And it's like spring training. The pitchers are way ahead of the hitters.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, what else?
So base running, you hit on Jazz. I do want to say something. So the Yankees have played 2 of the best defensive catchers in all of baseball. Now, granted, Raleigh didn't play yesterday, so take that for what it's worth. But Bailey
isn't bad. Bailey's great.
Bailey's the best. Bailey is the best.
Yeah.
And Raleigh was right up there with him as far as throwing out base runners. And the Yankees are 6 for 9 on the season. However, one of them is what happened to Jazz today, which is criminal. And he's been doing this since last season. Why is he putting this little mitten on his glove, on his hand, while he's off the base? Every player in the history of baseball knows when you take signs from the coach, you're distracted. You're supposed to take the signs while you're standing on the base. What could be more distracting, taking signs from the coach or looking at your hands, looking down? At least when you're looking at the coach, you're looking across. That he's putting on his oven mitt and he hasn't gotten picked off as frequently as he has is amazing to me. That is just stupidity at its best. That is just unacceptable whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand how a coach is not saying to him, get your ass on the base when you're putting on your oven mitt. But the Yankees are 6 of 9 for stealing bases on this season through 6 games, which is terrific. And they were running against teams who have great throwing catchers. I want to see the Yankees keep this up. Even though Judge got thrown out today, and obviously Jazz got thrown out, and Bellinger's gotten thrown out, but he stole another base today. I want to see them keep running.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they haven't run in a bad spot. They've been running at the right time. They just have to keep this up. And it seems to me that this running, like I said yesterday after for yesterday's show in the post game, I do believe this is coming from Boone. I don't believe that this is the players running on their own where Boone says, oh, they've got the green light. Jazz getting picked off was probably Jazz being a Dinkleberry. But other than that, I'd like the strategy of the running. I think it's the right thing to do.
Me too.
And
just do a better job of it. And pickoffs don't make sense to me. Like that pickoff bothered me because he seemed to be off time. Like I don't know about the oven mitt.
He wasn't even far off the base. It was because he had his freaking oven mitt on.
Because it was like he seemed to be doing that hop skip thing that guys are doing.
He was playing with his oven mitt.
But if you do the hop skip and you make that first move, not a steal yet move, but more like this sort of the hop, like kind of the in between this.
Mm-hmm.
You're done, because if you're like this, you're leaning, you're out. There's no way you can get back.
Yeah,
So it just
but almost
looks.
a lot of players are doing that. I think that Volpe exaggerates it when he's on the bases. But in today's situation with Jazz was simply he wasn't looking. It's like when CB Buckner missed the play yesterday with Bauer touching first base. He wasn't looking.
Do we know if Boone was saying anything about it? I mean, Boone always supports his team.
I don't
Oh,
get the
can't do
post game.
that.
I don't get the post game show.
Oh, okay. I'm interested to hear what Boone says about
So
that.
I mean, I'll watch the post game show because when I watch it through the MLB app, the Yankees are one of the 2 or 3 teams in baseball where the pregame and postgame show doesn't go through the MLB app. If I watch it, I can watch the games through the Gotham app if I want to.
Do you have to pay for the Gotham app?
Yes.
How much?
I don't know.
Oh. Never mind. I guess
it's like yes. I don't know how much it is. I don't do the bills in my house. My wife does. How's that? How red is my face right now?
Good answer.
But I get the MLB app through T-Mobile, so I'm not going to worry about it.
Good answer.
But I can watch the pre and post game shows for the Mariners. But it doesn't matter. I watch my games through the MLB app. I don't watch them through the Gotham app. It doesn't make any sense to me to do that. The Gotham app's a pain in the ass for me to use. I also have a website that is probably Chinese, where every sporting event in the entire world that is being broadcast can be found. So, I don't really need any of these apps that I pay for, nor do I really need Netflix or Amazon Prime or any of them, but I have them because of this stupid Chinese app, but I don't feel comfortable using it, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So, all right, man. Oh, man, I'm done. Got to go eat dinner.
All right, so I'll see you Friday after the game. Are you going to any of the games this weekend?
I may have tickets to Saturday night. Office has some extras they're going to throw my way, maybe. So we'll see. I might take.
Well, you are the top salesman in the world.
Well, it's a very small world, actually, but it's.
Why? Your company is out here. You're everywhere. You're savoir faire.
It's just an office. It's like it's a very big office on a team on a big team.
What's the name of your firm again?
Corcoran.
Oh, Corcoran. Okay. Yeah, but you guys are out here. You used to be at what? Not Sherwin-Williams. That's the painting company. Keller Williams.
Sherwin-Williams. Yeah, I was there.
Williams.
Keller. So. All right, big guy. Got to go. Have a great one.
Look for us on YouTube, folks, where all our shows are out there.
Thank you. Go Yanks. Great.
Good luck in prison.
Bye-bye.